Legal expert says the SEC wants Ripple to dump $2 billion in XRP and further suppress XRP price. Attorney Jeremy Hogan claims that in response to the SEC's $2 billion penalty demand, Ripple would have to sell a large quantity of XRP, thus lowering the price of the coin. A number of respected solicitors have offered their thoughts on the opening remedies brief that the SEC submitted in the ongoing Ripple action. A fresh twist has emerged with the statement of attorney Jeremy Hogan on the development. Hogan focused on the SEC's request for final judgment in which the agency requested that the court punish Ripple with a $2 billion fine for breaking federal securities laws in its institutional transaction. In response to the ridiculous demand, Hogan voiced concern about the consequences for XRP holders and blasted the SEC's ineffectual legal approach against Ripple. Hogan detailed how the $2 billion demand from the SEC would negatively impact the very individual investors that the agency asserts it is tasked with safeguarding. Hogan claims that Ripple will have to liquidate a large amount of XRP if the court grants the SEC's motion for summary judgment. In his analysis, Hogan found that retail investors will be hit the worst as a result of the action's precipitous drop in XR price. Notably, XRP's recent performance has been below average when compared to its competitors. Although XRP's legal status is clear, it was only recently this month that it jumped from the 0.6 level, where it had been trading for months, to roughly 0.74. Alternatively, in the span of a month, the price of Bitcoin surged from approximately $50,000 to a new record high of $73,737. Many XRP holders are unhappy with the coin's lackluster performance in comparison to the market as a whole. They say that Ripple's monthly sales are to blame for XRP's poor performance since they lower the price. In case you were wondering, Ripple sells a lot of XRP every month. In particular, every month, the corporation transfers 1 billion XRP out of its escrow accounts. Even though it relocks 800 million XRP in escrow, it keeps 200 million XRP and sells them to consumers that need them quickly. The proceeds from these sales cover Ripple's costs, such as legal representation in its case against the SEC. There is no proof that these sales are to blame for XRP's poor performance, while accusations of price suppression are piling up. The SEC and Ripple are at odds over a penalty that may cost several $billion. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has proposed a substantial financial penalty against the blockchain company Ripple, adding fuel to the already simmering legal conflict between the two parties. The decision to classify Ripple's XRP token as a security highlights the gravity of the debate around this classification. This move demonstrates a hostile attitude towards Ripple, despite the fact that SEC has a history of losing cases similar to this one. Since the second part of 2020, the stakes have been steadily increasing. A number of legal concerns, including as the Hyman documents and the Howey test, have played significant roles in the Ripple Thief investigation and litigation. Although partial judgments have been made, the underlying issue remains unresolved because Ripple did not follow the regulations when it came to securities. The CSC is now pushing for heavy fines to serve as a deterrence to fairly reflect the large amount of unregistered XRP sales that Ripple engaged in over several years. The legal team representing the Securities and Exchange Commission submitted to the court a total penalty package of $1.9 billion. This package includes discouragement, prejudgment, interest, and civil penalties. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's influence strategies are under scrutiny. Ripple can easily cover the punishment according to the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC. On the other hand, Jeremy Hogan and others have voiced their worries about how it would affect private investors. Reason being, in order to cover the fine, the company might have to dump a ton of XRP, which might drive down its price on the market. As a result of Ripple's persistence in selling XRP despite prior legal cautions, the position of the Securities and Exchange Commission has been defined. In reaction to the SEC's tough stance, Stuart Alderati, chief legal officer of Ripple, claimed that the SEC was trying to punish and intimidate Ripple. Despite the ongoing legal dispute between Ripple and the SEC, the company plans to formally respond to the proposed sanctions in April. Something really unexpected has happened. The $2 billion fine has been imposed on Ripple by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, has taken a firm stand against the agency's proposal. Garlinghouse is determined to reveal the Securities and Exchange Commission's real character in reaction to the shocking demands. The chief legal officer and CEO of Ripple, Clay Stuart Alderati, recently revealed in an Excel post formerly known as Twitter, that the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has petitioned a judge to order Ripple to pay fines and penalties totaling $2 billion. According to Alderati, the SEC is more interested in punishing and intimidating Ripple than in faithfully enforcing the law. Given that garlinghouse was contesting the $2 billion in fines levied by the SEC, he stressed that the agency has persistently violated the law in various enforcement cases. His claim is that the actions of the Securities and Exchange Commission have been noted by judges who have previously censured the agency for abusing the authority granted to it by Congress. Also, criticizing the SEC's punishment demand is Ripple CEO, who says the move lacks both rationale and precedent. This is particularly the case when there are no allegations of fraud or negligence in the case. Therefore, garlinghouse has promised to reveal the actions of the Securities and Exchange Commission, drawing attention to the fact that Ripple will react aggressively to the SEC's moves. Noteworthy, according to Alderati, the firm's legal team will react to the SEC's demands in a file scheduled for the following month. The chief legal officer of Ripple offered some insight into the situation with the Securities and Exchange Commission, characterizing the group as dealing in misleading, inaccurate, and intentionally misleading representations. What matters most to XRP holders are the acts of SEC. Ripple was accused by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission of violating securities laws when it sold XRP to American investors in an unregistered securities offering. The complaint was filed against the payment firm. In contrast, the government agency claimed that the company and its officials had neglected their duty to safeguard investors by withholding important information XRP. As far as the Ripple community is concerned, the SEC's enforcement actions against the company have done more to cause problems and financial losses for XRP holders than to protect investors. Would you recommend buying Bitcoin when whales withdraw an unprecedented $2.3 billion from exchanges? Was he looking for more information through relevant reading? The Securities and Exchange Commission SEC, not Ripple, should pay billions to XRP holders, claims a prominent XREP supporter going by the name Crypto Wolf. The Securities and Exchange Commission's demand for $2 billion in fines and penalties is ridiculous, considering that the most financially impacted party is the XRP. Reportedly, XRP holders are owed hundreds of billions of dollars. In its ongoing case against Ripple Labs for the sale of XRP cryptocurrency, the Securities and Exchange Commission is pursuing fines and penalties totaling $2 billion, as recently revealed by Stuart Alderati, Chief Legal Officer of Ripple. All of this was revealed by Alderati. This disclosure emphasizes the upcoming problems that Ripple will have to handle. Is Ripple once again entangled in the SEC's web? Can you tell me where this case is headed? There are differing viewpoints among solicitors about the CC's explosive move. A legal expert recently commented on the latest development in the continuing legal battle between Ripple Labs and the SEC in a statement.